Alright. Hello.
Yo, what's up, guys? You're live? Okay.
Yeah, I think we are ready to go. This is Secret of Evermore. I guess a lot of you are familiar with this game. Maybe just because it looks similar to Secret of Mana, which probably everybody knows, I guess.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's mostly the Western Mana, as I would like to call it. So, do you plan on starting right away?
I guess so. I think we can
Alright.
explain a little bit while running, I guess.
Okay.
So let's just go.
Okay. Should I do the countdown?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go on.
Okay. 3, 2, 1, go.
Okay, good luck.
Good luck! So, first thing we are going to do is looting that petal, killing one flower at least, because we need money. And then we're trying to get as much damage in as possible until we arrive at the screen transition on top. Because there we're going to do the first skip of the game that skips a little mini boss fight that is going to load in the next screen, if done correctly. And this is pretty RNG heavy already.
Yeah,
like
my flows were pretty good.
uh
So basically,
oh
Act
boy.
1 is pretty heavy on tricks, pretty stacked with tricks. You're gonna see us, you're gonna be seeing us do a whole lot of, I guess, skips, skipping triggers, yeah, and that stuff. So it's gonna be pretty much in a short period of time. So it's pretty hard to explain. But yeah, we're gonna try to do our best to explain at least a little bit.
So, and yeah, I guess it's important to introduce ourselves. My name is Zockerstu, and
I'm Cliqz.
so just so you know which voice is coming from who.
I think we've both been running Evermore like 3 years, maybe even more now.
Yeah, something like that.
And we both have done like well over, I'd say 8,000 attempts in this game. Across all categories, maybe even more, maybe even more than 10,000. So yeah.
Yeah, and this is a pretty optimized game actually. I mean, It has like many people who know the speedrun know that this game is connected to a lot of RNG. But despite the RNG, it's like really optimized, and once you have like a specific level, there's not too much room for improvement other than having or like grinding perfect RNG. Especially in Act 1, like all enemies, since they can easily hit us or even kill us, have a lot of RNG. Either they hit us or they get missed if we want to hit them away, because missed chance is a thing in this game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Oh. The thing is, this game, Act 1 is pretty execution heavy, both RNG and execution heavy actually, and considered to be, I would say, most difficult part of the run.
Yeah, don't forget to save, by the way.
Yeah. And yeah, the game is pretty much all about movement, to be honest. Because you're gonna see us do some tricks in the later stages of the game, especially Act 2, which is gonna break the game a little bit. And yeah, you're gonna understand, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want to spoil anything, but
yeah,
here this is some just jumping over a few triggers in that maze. Oh, and I messed it up already? Okay. Yeah, so I guess we are going to take the casual route.
As I said, Act 1 is pretty execution heavy. There's many tricks. They, by themselves, they don't save too much time, but in the grand scheme of things, and as I said, it's a pretty short game, and it's pretty RNG heavy, so you're gonna take as much time as you can, of course.
So, but yeah, for Cliqz screen, you were able to see him jumping over these triggers that I mentioned to just take a shortcut through that bridges maze, and yeah. Coming up the first boss here.
145. Oh my god. He's
So,
even
but you
gonna...
also got...
He didn't die. What I just did, we are playing the safety route already with 16 hardballs. Usually we only play 14. And I just did 16 and he still didn't die. So pretty good example of bad RNG in this game.
Okay, he died for me, but I probably did not get the outro skip. Let's see. That's also RNG if you get... Oh, okay, we got it.
Yeah, so basically...
So, short summary of what we did there was leashing the boy to the left before the cutscene of the boss, so we were able to skip that scene. And then we went into that trigger at the end of the boss fight, so we are able to skip some text boxes here. Or like we skip getting stuck here and just listening to him in a slow way. And what we did in the fight was multicasting. We played the dog, and over the menu of the other character we can cast multiple projectiles at the same time.
Yeah. Usually you can only cast 2. When you're playing the dog, entering the voice menu, you can just actually 8 cast.
So he survived for you, right?
Yeah, he did. He did. But the boy managed to finish him off.
So yeah. And because we already mentioned how much RNG this early game has, we agreed on some safety saves and safer ingredients route, so we have more hardpots than usually. So the bosses are supposed to die more often. Or like more likely that they die because they can all survive, like Magma and that boss Threx that you just saw. When having bad damage rolls, you can easily have them survive.
Like, I had a 145. I think the lowest I've seen ever was a like 133 or so. And hardball damage can go up to like 450. So the damage range of this spell is extremely high. Yeah, which makes up for a lot of RNG in the speedrun.
So, and what we just did there is the so-called fire ice skips. Usually when you are entering a hut, there are like 6 people, I guess, who are calling her to get out and stuff, and it's just like a little bit of a time waste. But if you do a frame-perfect character swap at the guard, like when the guard is supposed to talk to the dog when entering, we can set 3 triggers, basically, and that way we just enter her house from above, without having to see that.
We kind of confused the game in the way we want. Like as I said, we're gonna be doing a whole lot of what's it called? Sequence breaks, skips, and other tricks. So like I think we've already like skipped 4 cutscenes, 2 on Thrax, 1 Raptors and 1 on Fire Eyes.
Yeah, it's like exactly now. We are like usually you're supposed to go to the elephant graveyard, fight a boss, going to the swamp to fight a boss, getting some ingredients, meeting people, and also all that stuff. But you can just clip through these rocks because they are considered sprites. And if you have both characters separated from each other, you can use that distance, that scrolling of the camera to despawn objects like enemies and these stones.
Basically, what isn't on screen in Evermore doesn't exist, if you will. So you can skip a whole lot of things like this.
Yeah, and that's how we skip like half of Act 1.
Yeah.
So that also means that we are quite underleveled, so that next boss can be really dangerous if you get low rolls, because we have to use a lot of hardballs and call beats to get him.
Yeah, the actual run Magma is the hardest boss, I guess, right?
Yeah. And don't forget to save, right?
Yeah, I did.
Like usually you wouldn't save and just reset if something goes wrong, but yeah. In a marathon scenario, you don't have that.
Yeah, like the game is so optimized for the both of us. We're currently 1 and 2 on the leaderboards, so you can basically not do any mistakes if you want a PB.
Yeah, basically you want to get a sub 10 Act 1. That's like the magical thing, like more or less. But I guess for a marathon, this is just going to be like at 10:30 for me or so. I don't know, but let's see. I have to concentrate a little bit on that fight now. You're going to explain later what happened here?
Yeah, sure. Is he gonna die? He did not die. He did not die. This should be fine, because we're doing the safety round. Okay. We might still die, because we got another heat wave.
Oh, he did
that's
not
all
die
fine.
for me as well?
Yeah, this is pretty bad,
This is
actually.
some awful RNG right here.
Yeah. So what we did here, on this fight we're doing... how do I explain this? The game is routed like in a way that we're trying to not trigger the heat wave, which you just saw. Which, did you get a second wave? Probably.
Yeah, I got a second.
So you're supposed to only get one heat wave, and then the boss is supposed to die. But if you get bad damage rolls like I just did, and Stu just did, he's gonna do 2 waves and probably kill you, which of course kills the run.
Yeah, that's also the reason why we multicasted some unnecessary hardballs earlier to a random enemy, so we have the right level to skip that threshold, so he will never use that heat wave unless he dies. But yeah, we both got bad damage rolls that happens. Like the chance for bad damage rolls to happen is like 50%, I would say.
Yeah, 50,
like half of the time he will just survive, and there's nothing you can do.
That's also why you're gonna spend a whole lot of time in Act 1 when you're grinding this game. Like as I said, we've done well over 8,000 attempts, and like, let's say 85-90% maybe are Act 1.
Sure.
So yeah.
Yeah, the next thing we're going to do is the Blimp Skip. We gotta go into the screen transition at that cave, like frame perfectly, swapping the characters again, and then the dog, because he's placed somewhere up there, will come to us, and then because the boy's aggressive, we can leash him over that pit. Like, because it's actually, there's no wall. You can just walk
That's
over
also the reason why we set the boy to aggressive earlier, before Magma. Because when you're swapping characters from the dog to the boy, or maybe from the boy to the dog, the boy's gonna run around trying to attack enemies, and sometimes he's gonna go straight over the pit and allow us to skip this whole cutscene for now.
Yeah. The reason why we skip that cutscene, it might be unnecessary because we have to trigger it later anyways. But the thing is, like, once we enter Nobilia here, the city we are in, a hidden timer, like, in the back of the memory of the game gets loaded, like it's 14 minutes something or so. And yeah, that timer runs down. Like, the story won't progress until the timer's out. And yeah, we want to trigger that cutscene while we have to wait for that timer to run out anyways. The only things that stop that timer from running is like buying menus, or like your own ring menu, or talking to trading NPCs, basically. And screen transitions, right?
Basically everything that freezes or locks down NPCs, I guess.
Yeah. So now we have 40 minutes of time to just do whatever we want, but that's not entirely true. We want to trigger the infamous Atlas glitch,
Exactly.
which makes us like pretty much invincible for
Which I said is gonna
the
break
rest
the
of the
game.
game.
Yeah.
Oh yes.
We're gonna break the game a little bit, just a little bit.
And I guess what we forgot to mention is that there's that trigger in the desert that just warps you to the other end of the exit. Usually the desert loops all the time until you finish it. Like it's mostly like 1.5 minutes running through, I guess. But if you walk into that trigger, you get zapped to the other end of the desert.
Yeah.
And that's not a glitch, that's actually just a trigger that was left in by the programmers accidentally, I guess. So they did not have to travel all the way through the desert all the time.
So here we're gonna get the crush. Alchemy crush.
Yeah, don't forget to save again.
Yeah, yeah. The only alchemy we're actually gonna use from now on. Because there's some bosses later in the game that you actually cannot attack from melee range. So we pretty much have to get some alchemy to kill them.
Alright. So that safety save is definitely necessary because that Atlas glitch is going to be kinda finicky and yeah, RNG based of course.
Yeah, this trick usually makes or breaks the run. If you got to this point, this is basically the last point where the run can actually die. And this is a pretty hard to explain trick.
Yeah, first of all, we want to have a specific level to have some HP to tank hits from the monk in the screen down there. We want to get poisoned and then after that heal up at the oasis and then run down to the monk and want him to hit us and then he can cause either plague or confound or nothing of that. And we want one status, it doesn't matter which. If we get one, we just want to cast all that stuff that you're going to see onto ourselves and then die at a specific timing.
Is this actually gonna work? I'm not sure. Let me see.
This is not a first try, I gotta save again, just in case I don't get it.
I didn't get it.
Yeah. I recommend saving after every attempt because... Oh, you got it.
Nope, I did not.
No, you did not get it. Oh,
did not get it.
So that's why you always want to save.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also after every attempt saving, because, I mean, even though it failed, like, all that time that you waste here is also time of that market timer that you have to, you know, waste anyways. So you want to make sure that if you die and have to reload... Where am I actually? Yeah. You don't have to waste all that time again.
Yeah, exactly. Pretty much what we're trying to do is underflow our strength. So the thing is in Evermore that I think it is poison that subtracts that. Yeah, I think it's subtract. Will subtract 1 point of strength per frame it ticks, and it ticks for a total amount of 8 seconds. So the maximum amount of strength we're gonna lose is 480. But since we only have like 50
I
maybe?
guess it's like 50 maybe,
Yeah.
yes. Not more than that.
Is the reason why our strength will underflow and will end up on like 65,000 if done correctly.
So yeah, as you can see, like, we are doing 999 damage, but I can demonstrate if you have like 100% of your stamina, which you usually use for attack. Okay, we missed. Dang.
Okay, did you get it?
Another enemy. Yeah, I got it.
Okay, me too.
We are only doing 1 damage because, like, if we have these 100%, we're doing too much damage, so that the underflow damage will get overflowed again, so we have basically no damage at all. So we have to be below 100 stamina to do that max damage.
Exactly. What we're trying now is pretty simple. We're trying to get as much money as we can. Because as I said, we had to take one spell, one alchemy with Crush, and we have to buy a lot of ingredients to use. Which is why we're gonna have to farm a little bit of money. To grind.
Yeah. Because usually we can finish everything like immediately with our weapon now, but there are 2 enemies in the game, 2 bosses that we're not allowed to skip for this category. Like one of these you could skip technically, but this skip is not included for various reasons. And yeah, we have 2 bosses that are only defeatable with using alchemy or throwing the spear, which we don't have.
Yeah.
Which will not do any damage because of that overflow.
Did you check your strength?
Oh, I did not. I
No.
should do that, I guess.
Because mine's like 56,400, I guess. Pretty high. But it should be fine.
65,300, I'm fine.
Yes, that's okay.
Yeah, because usually you can check your strength and then we know which would be too high. So with the levels we gain for the rest of the game and the stronger weapons we get, damage would overflow again. So, but if we know it's low enough that this was not going to happen, we are fine for the rest of the game. So no worries there.
Yeah, as you know, what's it called? Binary code or something? That only can handle like how many? 65,333, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know.
And then we're gonna
Something
overflow again. So we're gonna have to calculate a little bit. Like we only get 2 points of strength per level up, which is pretty low. And the weapons we're gonna equip will give like the strongest weapon gives I think 50 strength. So you're gonna be pretty fine with like 300 to 400.
So in case you wonder why we're not allowed to skip the so-called Verminator later, where we have to use alchemy, there is a category that skips it, but that causes a sound glitch, and not every console can handle that one. So this is why these are 2 separated categories. And yeah, we are playing the mostly common run category, which is without that Verminator skip. So, like, the only things that we don't want from now on is misses, of course, because, yeah, damage is useless without hitting the enemy. But it's completely RNG. And the other one is critting enemies, because crit has so much damage that we overflow again with that hit. So the crit is can do up to like 500 or so, but it will not be the 999, and it can be something like 20 or 5 or whatever. Oh, what is? Oh, dang. So we are always killing the enemies at this screen here at specific spots, because they can drop items, and these enemies specifically can drop 75 jewels, and if you pick up these 75 jewels and right after that you pick up limestone, for example, you will get 75 limestones, but unfortunately I did not get any of these. Don't know if you got some, but I guess
No,
not.
no. Didn't get anything. It's also very rare to get even one.
Yes, but we just try to get it. I mean, we anyways have the time here for the market timer, so whatever.
Do we have some time queue? Actually didn't put the time.
No, I also just
really?
realized that I
Yeah,
have no
it's
idea
okay.
when the timer.
There's really no point in grinding anyway.
Yeah, I
We're
don't
gonna
know.
get a tiny bit of hit percent per level. But the thing is, Evermore is pretty strange also with hit percentage. So not every level is gonna get it, because it's gonna give us actual hit percentage. So it's like how do you call it? Staggered or something? So I think every 4 levels give you like 4%.
Yeah, I have
So
no idea about that.
yeah, so you
Actually.
would have to have a specific level at a specific part in the game, which you usually won't get anyway. So
So,
pretty much does not make any difference.
will you get the J disc?
I guess not.
Yeah, I have no
As
idea.
I said,
I
it
don't even remember what you have to trade.
yeah,
So.
it doesn't make any sense anyway. There's really no need to get it.
So actually, you could trade some stuff at the market to get the J disc, which is supposed to give you more hit percentage. But yeah, some people say it's worth it. Some people say it's not worth it since you lose frames while not trading. Or like, if you trade, you lose frames while every trade. So you can take it. Like technically, it saves you time once you saved one hit from being a miss because of that item. But yeah, I don't know. I don't get it.
How much percentage does it give you? Like 2.5%, I guess?
Yeah, it's
The J disc?
very low.
But you're gonna lose like 48 frames. You're gonna do 8 trades in total, which are every one of them loses 8 frames. The confirmation box. So yeah, you're gonna
but
lose
we need
like
to
not even a
buy
second.
an amulet of annihilation here because yeah, we will need that later in Act 3. So this is a funny waiting game now.
This is the part where you could theoretically do lobotomy chicken. If anyone has seen AGDQ 218, I think it was. Meta Sigma. The infamous lobotomy chicken.
So we could take that time to talk about the story of the game a little bit.
Yeah, sure. Why
if
not?
You can,
Why not?
I mean, it's pretty strange and not like really a kind of epic story or so. You just get, I don't know, how does it start? Like,
Yeah,
the
you
boy...
like your boy Ian from Podunk, it's called Podunk, and you
Yeah,
like
that's, by the way, for those who don't know, that Podunk was like the town with the headquarters of Nintendo, I guess.
yeah, exactly.
Was it like that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you're the boy. You find that strange lab of Dr. Ruffleberg, he's called. You're gonna find out later. And Setbroth has like created an alternate world, which is Evermore. Yeah. I don't know why has he created this alternate
I don't know.
reality. I have no idea.
He wants to rule it. I don't know. It's
Anyway.
not really important.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter. But anyway, you're the boy. You find that strange lab. You find his I don't know, machine or something, and you actually get transported or something to Evermore. So you're like in that strange alternate reality right now, and what we're doing right now is basically trying to get our way out or back home to Podunk. And so we're gonna play through different timelines. You just saw us play through Prehistoria, I think it's called.
Yeah.
Now we are in, what is it in English? Antica? Something like this?
Antica. Yeah, something like that.
We're gonna play.
Like later there's going to be Gothica, I guess. That's what
exactly.
it's called. And then the last one is going to be Omnitopia, which is kind of a surprise to those who don't know what it is. So we are going to about that, I guess.
Yeah, but basically we're just trying to find our way home. That's all. It's really not too much of a story. So I guess the time should be already over.
Yeah, I'm
I think you should be ahead right now. Yeah.
An important thing to mention, I mean, for this cutscene it does not save much time. But there are some cutscenes in the game where you actually have cutscene RNG in the movement of the AI-controlled characters. The boy can just walk over there to the right, which is like 1.5 seconds or so faster than the slower way, or he just walks down. Like, there's not an exact path that the character's going to take. The game just says go from point A to point B. So sometimes characters will go strange paths.
Yeah. Fun fact
in a
is
cutscene.
the game isn't hard coded in many cutscenes. I did now get the good cutscene RNG, but instead uses some kind of waypoints. It just says go there, but doesn't tell you the way to go.
Yeah.
Doesn't tell you how to go there, and so it might lead to strange movements here and there.
Yeah. There's like later, like this is not too bad. I mean, it saves 1 second if you get the good one, but later in the game,
Yeah.
there's a cutscene that can actually, like, in worst case, lose you 16 seconds. Just because of the game wanting
Yeah.
you to lose that time. And it's in the late game. It's hilarious, like for a viewer at least.
Actually, there's pretty heavy cutscene RNG in Act 3.
Yeah.
Basically, it's all in Act 3.
So you have to be careful at that boss because if you don't get the quick kill, you have to be careful when to kill him, because it might happen that you kill him at a timing that I think it is when he's trying to do it. Yeah, when he's about to flex, something like that.
Yeah.
Very specific, but if you hit or kill him at exactly that timing, the game will hard lock, and yeah, then the run is dead.
Yeah. This would be pretty bad now, because you would have to like replay all of the market timer. So let's hope we're not soft locking or hard locking.
Yeah, but the good news is after that we have the dog back, and the bad news about that is since he wasn't there with us, he did not gain any XP. And he, of course, does not have the Atlas glitch. He's not doing that brutal damage, and he's also not immune to any damage, so he will just die if we're not being careful. So are you fine?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Nice.
Like, how much are you ahead now? Like 30 seconds, maybe?
Yeah, I'm
a little bit ahead now because of Atlas glitch.
So now we can do that desert skip with using the dog, which is much easier. It's complicated to explain how it works, but it's pretty easy.
There's quite some tricks in Evermore that like you know how to perform, but you don't really know why they would work, to be honest. Like Atlas was like this for a long time, but lately some coders have looked into the code and actually figured out how this stuff actually works. So we're a little bit more intel on this now.
So.
But for a long time it's been do it like this and it works, and if you don't, it doesn't.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So this dungeon has these invisible bridges. Usually you're supposed to get an alchemy spell to see them, to make them visible, but we know, of course, where they are, and they are not random. They're always the same. But it's dangerous. If you fall down there, especially in the first one in that main room of this temple, you have to use wings to get out of the dungeon again, because for some reason, if you let the dog sniff and fall down, you can hardlock. Let's just say it this way.
By the way, probably you've seen us move diagonally pretty much as we can, because I think it's the case in many SNES games, because when moving diagonally, I think every second frame will move you 2 pixels instead of 1. So you're moving a little bit faster when moving diagonally. By the way, my dog has 36 HP.
Oh, what? He's level 1 still.
36.
Oh boy. Not good.
This is extremely low. But it shouldn't be
Come
an
on,
issue.
dog. Oh, I forgot to precast that. No. What you see us also doing in Temple is precasting some of the crushes to get level 1 at least, because level 0 is going to do like almost no damage at all. Where do I want to... Yeah, we mainly use the dog to sniff at the entrance of a room to just switch to him when we finish the room to just exit it. There's a nice RNG skip here, see if I get it. He's not doing anything. Oh, he did. Alright. Yeah, we're leashing there over the bridge trigger again. Like, usually you cannot get past one character alone, past that trigger. But if we leash the boy over again, you can let the dog sniff at the entrance of the room. That saves us wings and like 10 seconds if we get it first try.
Yeah.
But it's, again, like one of these RNG only skips, most likely.
And the thing is, when you're trying to get really top times, you're gonna have to get everything, every single skip in the game. The game is optimized so much at this point that you're gonna need to get all the skips.
Which is really frustrating. I mean, mostly you're just an Act 1, but if you once get out of it and then get an Atlas glitch, at best first try, and then you still need to get that stuff and not getting all the bad cutscene RNG later, and the mess, basically.
As I said, the fact we cannot die, we pretty much have to, like, the game's all about movement and RNG.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're gonna have to grind quite a bit to get a top time.
By the way, if you fall down in one of these invisible bridge holes, you gotta land in the camp and lose a minute roundabout, because there's so much cutscene going on.
Yeah.
Oh, dang, I'm bad. Usually you don't want to step on that pressure plate. Not at that moment. Oh boy.
Yeah, shit happens.
Yeah, whatever. Because, I mean, you want to put the dog there anyways, like in that dungeon, but the thing is, if you let him stand on that trigger and you get there to that room, the door will not stay open. It's closed again. For whatever reason. Yeah, as Cliqz mentioned,
yeah, that's
basic movement all.
Yeah, that's the thing. As I said, you're gonna have to get all the tricks. Some of them are, I'd say, pretty tough to get. They don't save too much time by themselves. But all in all, like, yeah, you want to have a good time, you're gonna have to basically get all of them. Get good at them, kind of. Execute well, and then on top get good RNG.
Yeah, we're doing a lot of small tricks here, like swapping characters at specific points, like frame perfect swaps, to move them while they are usually not able to move, to, you know, have times of like scenes where a door is opening, for example, to move the character while this scene is playing, and so on.
I got a drop.
Oh, dang. Also, like one of the
stairs.
arch enemies when running this game getting a drop.
Oh yeah. Like getting a drop on a part you can't like run past it is, yeah, pretty unlucky. And usually happens in pyramids.
Yeah.
Because there's many narrow pathways with enemies that can drop stuff.
So with clearing that animation while we use the full screen menu, we can move before the first cycle of that boss can start. Again, like a lot of minor optimizations that you will not really notice if you're not running this game. Oh, what is
I
happening?
got another drop. Just saying.
This
Oh man.
classic right there.
This is great.
And now, very important skip here. I hope I will not mess that up. Alright, that was actually the perfect skip. Wow. So the thing is, there's a trigger that triggers a little cutscene where that fake Horus is coming. Horus is, by the way, a character that we completely skipped by not entering the camp. And that fake Horus is trying to bait us into giving him the diamond eyes that we just obtained by the last two bosses. The boy will give the diamond eyes to him, and then there's a little fight and so on. But the tragedy about that is, if you lose the diamond eyes, you have to backtrack a lot later in the game, like losing 3 minutes later.
Yeah, gonna do a whole lot, another boss, actually. That you can just
so
skip,
it's
like.
very important to skip that one trigger. Which you're going to see right now at Cliqz, or soonish, I guess.
Yeah, pretty soon.
So less RNG for that one.
Oop, I got bad spider RNG. Let's see. Come here. Oop. Yeah, third try, but it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, as long, like, for a marathon run, at least, as long as you get it, it's totally fine.
Yeah.
Like, for PB attempts, like, every attempt loses at least 1 or 2 seconds, it's a mess. Because you cannot do anything about it. So yeah, here we see the real Horus, like the first time.
I don't know if we can explain the fact there's always 2 of the same character. Like there was Fire Eyes, there was Bad Fire Eyes, or here's Horus and Bad Horus. But it's gonna spoil the story pretty much, I guess.
I don't know if it spoils too much. Like, I mean, yeah, all 3 first acts have one doppelganger of the main, yeah, I don't know how we wanna call them, helpers or so.
Friendly NPCs.
Yeah, friendly NPCs, and yeah, they are always trying to trick us, but
why that is, you're gonna find out later.
But yeah, there's a lot of cutscene stuff here. Too much. And thank God for this desert skip. I mean, you saw how often we went through the desert already. This would be so bad if you have to go through the entire desert all the time.
Like there's this skeleton guy in his like boat or something. They can pretty much take you through the desert, or you can just run all the way. But that's gonna take like 2 to 3 minutes, I think. It's pretty bad for the speedrun.
I think I actually forgot to turn out my alerts. I thought I did it. I don't know why the alert. I hope it's nothing too bad. I'm sorry in case you heard something there. Alright, so now it's just like basic movement again. And nothing too crazy. But the next boss that is going to come is like one of the two bosses that we have to defeat by using alchemy. Alright. So Cliqz, how is it going? Cliqz?
Yes, pardon me. What's up?
What's
What's up?
How is it going?
It's going pretty good. But I'm behind like, I guess 40 seconds or so. So if you could like screw up a little bit, this would be pretty nice.
Nah, no screwing up today. I mean, there are still things that can go wrong, like definitely.
Yeah, it's quite a bit of stuff coming up.
By the
That
way,
can lose
that
a lot of
boss
time.
we only want to multicast 7 crushes at a time because this is bad. What am I doing here? Because if Akrogov tries to cast at the same time as we cast, the game is going to hardlock. If we cast 8. And there it would have happened actually, if I would have casted 8 crushes.
Fact is, there's 2 different, let's say, types of alchemy. Like there's projectiles, and there's, what's the other one called? Projectiles and... Do you know the name?
Projectiles and animation spells,
Animations,
I guess.
exactly. And the game can always only handle 8 of one of them at the same time.
Yeah.
So if you try
So
to
that's
cast
why
8...
you want to stack projectiles onto, like, call beat projectiles onto animation.
Exactly.
So fun fact, by the way, for Akrogov, the boss you saw there, where we use magic, you could technically also take him with a spear without throwing that spear. So like just using the spear with 100% stamina. But yeah, as we said, because of Atlas glitch, 100% is not doing any damage. So we have to use magic there for sure.
And a little fun fact, as you can see, on Stu's run, the dog changed his appearance once again. Like we started with a big wolf dog, or something like that in chapter 1. We got the... what's it called? In chapter 2. Like
the
winged...
I don't know how it's called. Like...
Yeah, but the dog will change appearance over the course of the game, depending on where you are.
Yeah. And this is everybody's favorite part, just some dialogues and yeah. For the speedrun, some unnecessary text and cutscene and whatever. Unfortunately, there's no way to skip it because there's no way to get inside of the castle without triggering all that cutscene stuff here. And this freak show Whammon is also the reason why we bought the amulet of annihilation in Act 2. Because we have to trade one in to get a ticket for the show. There's also no way around that.
Yeah, a little bit of nice cutscene. Gonna watch a little bit of the freak show. Like you saw, the dog was kidnapped before entering the show. And on Stu's screen, we're gonna see a little, I don't know, fun creature very soon.
Oh yes.
The so-called Schwudel.
Schwudel. Yeah, and now they turned him into a pig. And he's accidentally running with the pigs. And he's faster than them because they're just simple pigs. And he wins that pig race, so we get invited to the banquet in the castle. But unfortunately, our pig, I mean, a dog is supposed to be the pig that gets eaten for dinner. But yeah. So the dog has to escape from the castle, but we are not going to see that, I can promise you. I mean, hopefully. Because we can actually skip that, because in that scene that is about to come, you would see I just leave the room here. Like that. And re-entered, and all the NPCs and the cutscene is gone. Like, because before the cutscene starts, there are like enough frames of input you can do to just run out of the room before the cutscene actually starts. Very well coded game.
Yeah. Basically like in Act 1, where it lets us skip pretty much half of the entire act, the chapter.
Yeah, I mean the dog maze is not too bad if you know the way, but it sucks anyways.
I think everyone who played Evermore back in the day has spent his fair share amount of time in the dog maze. Well, I know I did.
Oh yes.
In general, Act 3 is pretty maze heavy.
Yeah. There's not too much about Act 3 we could share with you, I guess. Where this one, if you use wings in a spot that is not actually a dungeon, so no way to get teleported out with using the wings, they will not teleport you out, and it will just say it did not work. But because of that, your hitbox gets deleted, I guess, in that screen. So enemies will not notice you anymore and just ignore you. That gives you, yeah, easy time with them.
It's not that much, that's not that big of a deal in any percent, but there's some categories in this game that actually abuse this quite heavily. Like, you can always also use wings on bosses when they're inside, so even bosses cannot attack you, which is utilized in many other categories for this game. Makes bosses quite simple, to be honest.
That's also the reason why the infamous any percent no magic speedrun of this game is possible, actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is the Dark Forest, like everybody remembers that one, I guess.
Yeah, just another maze.
Yeah, the devs got really lazy when it comes to game design from Act 3 on, I guess. The thing is, how you're supposed to know the right way is when there's an oglin in one of the trees at the screen, you are still on the right path. If there's no oglin, you have to go back, basically. Since we just know the way by heart, we can go through there easy.
Yeah, I mean, you would assume we know the way by heart, but I've proven quite a bit of quite some times lately.
Yeah. Cliqz is infamous for forgetting the way when he's on hot paces. Like, I don't know why.
Like when I'm thinking about other stuff. Yeah. I get lost pretty easily.
I mean, not that it did not happen to me ever when I was on hot pace. It also happened to me. I don't know. But this is one of the things that usually only happens when you're on a good pace. Like, I don't know why. It just so happens. And if you thought the forest has only, like, one part, yeah, you're wrong. It has two. But luckily, the second one is much shorter and easier than the first one. Left, right, up, right, up.
Hey, stop it.
Down, left.
Holy shit. Oh, sorry. I'm gonna get lost again. Stop it.
Oh, what? The misses. Yeah, that's how Act 3 looks like most of the time. Because after the forest, there's immediately the next maze that is about to happen. It's the sewer maze. Yeah, like, the stuff that can mess you up here is the 3 blobs that you have to kill. Either you crit them for very low damage, or yeah, like that, or you miss them, or they drop you an item, and it sucks.
Yeah. How much time does it drop loose? Like 2 seconds, maybe?
I guess it's a little less than 2, because you can use that full stamina again.
Oh yeah, yeah.
That you get after picking something up.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, I'm excited what kind of finishing times we will get, because it's always hard to estimate in Evermore no reset runs, or like in this case marathon run.
Yeah, the sad thing is kind of Evermore that I gotta drop again. But anyway, there's not so much stuff you can like save time on after Act 2, after Atlas.
Yeah.
Because like you can't be hit, you basically do maximum damage, you can't die. So as I said, it's basically all RNG and movement. And yeah, the one who's ahead, like at the end of Act 2, or like, yeah, let's say, end of Act 2, is probably gonna win the race, most likely.
I mean, if you would mess up the Diamond Eyes skip in Act 2, that would lose you time in the late game, like a lot of time. And I mean, there's another boss that is coming up pretty soonish, which is called Sterling. He can also lose you a lot of time if you go ham, but yeah, it's not too likely that it completely kills like more than half a minute or so. But let's see.
The legendary Verminator.
Oh, did you mention, by the way, like about the movement, that the reason why we always want to have the spear equipped, that it also
I did not.
makes a movement faster?
I did not.
Oh, yeah, so now you know. Sometimes we swap to the spear, because the spear, the boy runs faster if he has the spear equipped than with a sword type of weapon or with an axe.
Yeah. Spears are just so aerodynamic. They just make you faster.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, we... what we just got is the bazooka. The coolest game. The coolest weapon in the game. Which is unfortunately not utilized very much.
Yeah.
It's just used
At least not
once,
in this
right?
category.
Yeah.
I mean, we have also no major glitches and... Oh no! We have no major glitches and no magic, where we use the bazooka in the final fight a lot, but yeah. Since we have an insane damage anyways, we have no reason for using the bazooka ever.
Yeah.
And by the way, that was what you can see at Cliqz screen, I guess. That cute queen from Act 3.
So cute.
Gunilla. Is it also Gunilla in the English
Nee,
version?
it's
I don't know.
Camellia, I guess.
Camellia. Ah, yeah,
Or Camilla.
right. Yeah, you're right.
Like all of these NPCs, these friendly NPCs are friends of Ruffelberg, like the prof from the lab, and somehow got into Evermore with us and with the prof, and are like ruling over their respective timeline, like Fire Eyes or
Yeah.
Prehistoria, Horus for Antica, and Camellia for Gothica.
But the thing is, like in the story, it turns out that this queen we just met is the good one, and the one that we were supposed to meet earlier, which we just skipped by skipping the banquet, was the bad one, and she sent us here because she said that this queen is actually the bad one. And yeah, it's supposed to be a kind of twist, but that we never get to know because we are speedrunning and not ever meeting the first one. And yeah, now we want to go back to her and defeat her, I guess. Don't know what the exact plan was.
Yeah, because Tinker allows us to, like, with his telescope, it allows us to, like, watch the conversation between the bad queen and her, Tatan, and her ally.
I don't know.
I don't know, Evermore is strange like this, so you can, like, hear through a telescope.
Yeah.
And so we know what's going on, and we're going back to, like, yeah, resolve this whole thing.
And that was a horrible way up the tower, by the way. I gotta go for YOLO Sterling, as we call it. Let's see if I can get it. This doesn't look good. What kind of crapshoot is... Oh dang, okay, I did not get it.
Nice.
That was a complete clown's fiesta. Where is he? Come on. That was so bad. Like, usually you want to go there if you're not getting the RNG where he's camping on the leftmost spot. You just want to use a call beat on him, like hypnotize spell, so he will not move anymore. Well, you can try, like, even though he's not on the leftmost side, just trying to run towards him like a madman and just try to mash him down.
My dog died, as
The
you can
thing
see.
is...
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, keep going, sorry. Keep going.
The thing is, if you're too close to him, like, every time you hit him, you have to take one step back or so to not get grabbed by him, otherwise he will automatically grab you and Yeah, he will throw you down. That's pretty slow. So I just tried to demonstrate that, but yeah, it went horribly wrong, as you saw.
I just demonstrated an insanely bad Gobi's Tower as well.
Alright, nice, nice.
That's okay. Yeah, this is another part of the game, in the end game, that can pretty much kill the run. Because as you saw, my dog got killed, which loses time. The boss is super RNG heavy. Can grab you, can knock you down. And yeah. Enemies can block you on the way up, can drop stuff, kill your dog. There's so much stuff that can happen, that can go wrong.
But yeah, that's how you should usually do it. Like Cliqz did it with the Hypnotize. Much safer, and it does not lose too much time compared to the YOLO strat. Like maybe in the worst case lose 6 seconds or so.
Yeah.
Which is a lot for like trying to get optimized times, but yeah, it's I mean, you don't want to see a run dying at over an hour in. But yeah, this is what Evermore is.
Yeah, 6 seconds might not sound much. But in a game like this, it's actually pretty much. But I guess that's the case for any speedrun that is optimized.
Yeah. Oh, misses. Oh yeah, that's just basic mashing down the boss. It's not too much to it, since Win was invincible anyways. Yeah, nothing that can go wrong. The only thing that could happen anytime, like for example after killing that boss, if you get a level up, that you overflow, as we mentioned. But since we made sure this is not going to happen, we should be fine, and that should not be to be worried about. But in an actual run, you sometimes you don't check it because it loses time, of course. And then you sometimes like defeat a boss, and then the next enemy you hit or you have to kill, you just do 1 damage. You hit him again, just do 1 damage again, and then you already know.
Then it hits you like a truck on a good pace. And your run just died.
And do we get a? Oh, that's the normal King cutscene RNG I just got. Maybe Cliqz will show you what can happen.
Oh yeah, hopefully. Hopefully. I mean, you're behind anyway, so it's okay.
I mean, I don't know if we want to spoil that already, but we will see. Maybe it happens for you. But yeah, so the bad queen is defeated now. So all 3 evil twins are defeated. And we go back to the good queen and to Tinker to tell him.
Let's see. Fun fact, the king actually gives us 10,000 gold coins for killing his wife, basically.
Oh.
True act of love. Nope, I got the good cutscene as well.
So what can happen is, you know, first of all the king moves, and after that, like once he reached the exit down there in the middle, the other 2 move at the same time. And it can happen that the king moves around the entire path over there on top to the throne and stuff, and then moves down in the middle, which is like 8 seconds, I guess. And then it can happen once he's down there that the boy or the dog also move around, which is like 7 seconds or so, I don't know.
Yeah.
They are a little faster than the king.
Loses a lot of time.
Like, even though it's just 1, losing 8 seconds on like Raki phase or so is mostly you're on his dead. So, just because of RNG, that's like the scariest part of when it comes to RNG, in my opinion, because there's like nothing you can do, you just have to watch it. So
yeah, it's heartbreaking. Stu has been on so many PB or even world record paces, I think. And
yeah, I mean,
king...
for me it was more in the past. Like, I had a time where he was actively going around. Luckily, it did not happen too often, like in the last months, let's say.
Yeah, but anytime he was on PB pace, the king would decide to move around, to go up, check his throne, and lose some time. basically the run.
Yeah.
It's so heartbreaking. But yeah, as we said, it's all about the waypoints and there's nothing you can do.
So this is another part where we will abuse the wing mechanic, that using wings in a screen that is not a... What is happening here? That is not a dungeon will just make the enemies ignore you. That's because we don't want the dog to get grabbed by these eating flowers on the way up, because it might happen that he's not following you anymore after that. So that loses quite some time. On the way down it doesn't matter, because they don't need to wait for the dog at the end.
What we do now is Tinker pretty much knows how to get to Professor Ruffleberg, I think, right?
Yeah.
And needs us to get him some stuff. We got him the Diamond Eyes from Act 2. Now we're gonna get him some gorges and a wheel, which he needs to basically craft a rocket.
Yeah, he's MacGyver.
Yeah, he's
basically.
MacGyver, exactly. And send us to space, to Omnitopia, and yeah, so we can meet Dr. Ruffleberg. That's what we're doing right now. Fun fact is, you don't even need to get 3 different items. The game also just requires you to get him 3 items. Doesn't really matter what items, so we can pretty much just get a gorge, bring it back to him, fly to the volcano again, get another gorge, and yeah, give that back to him. And yeah, he's fine with that.
Yeah, so you can skip the wheel by just using 2 gorges. However, the weird thing is, I don't know why that is. If you mess up the Diamond Eye skip in Act 2, so you lose the Diamond Eyes, you cannot get 3 gorges. You can get 2 gorges, but you have to go to get the wheel. I don't know why that is, but...
I don't know.
And the thing is, if that happens... Yeah, you get the wheel by going back to the spot where the first boss, Thrax, was. There's like a Thrax 2.0, basically. You have to defeat to get the wheel, and that costs like... If I would have to guess, I would say like 3 minutes, maybe?
Yeah, probably. Maybe even more, I guess.
Yeah.
It's definitely gonna kill your run, that's for sure.
Oh, that's a lot of backtracking. I mean, it might look not too special, but this is actually like a part where most like new runners, for example, will not realize that this has a lot of execution involved, because I remember when I started learning this game, I lost like on each way up and down together like maybe 6 seconds, even though it did not look like it. Just because knowing where the enemies are most likely going to be saves a lot of time, and cutting corners and stuff.
Yeah.
Which I'm not doing right now. I'm I don't know. I'm running into everything.
Like there's there's another tiny optimization, which is going up the volcano with a dog, like this pressure plate or whatever it is, instead of the boy.
Guys,
so he gets a little bit, gets up a little bit faster, which saves like how much? Half a second maybe each time you do it. So it's
not much.
So tiny. But all of this stuff adds up.
Yeah, the interesting thing is, I forgot to mention that, but you will see at Cliqz screen where he lands after he does not need the plane anymore to get back to Tinker. It's hilarious, because you just...
Yeah,
you would see you just land in the ocean. That way you lose the plane and you land at Tinker again, but you skip the animation that it needs for the plane to land, which saves another 7 seconds or so.
If we didn't get all the stuff we need at this point, we would have softlocked, kind of. Because there's no way to get back or out of Act 3 at this point. Because the Windwalker is gone.
Yeah, you really want to make sure this does not happen to you in casual playthrough or so, accidentally. I think the reason is for that, like, the devs planned on making another island there also, where you could land, and that's where there's this landing spot, but they never actually included that on the game, something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know where I had that. I think that was why.
Yeah, but that just puts you back to Tinker.
So here we can do a frame perfect character swap again. Like, we attack with the dog on that door, and then we swap to the boy in the next frame. So that means it counts as if the boy tried to go in there, and that way he gets sucked over there into the final boss room, basically. Skipping the entire Act 4, which is good because Act 4 totally sucks.
It does, yeah.
Yeah, and you see, the final boss rush is mostly about RNG, because you saw the Raptor got missed like 5 times in a row or so. You want to stun them into one corner and just smash them to death, but it will not work if you get bad RNG.
Yeah, evasion rate on these Raptors is super high. I think like 50% or so. Very high. Just another instance of possibly bad RNG in the run, in the end game.
Yeah. I mean, as a reference, you will mostly get around the same result for the Cauldron Rush, but you can, like, a very good Cauldron Rush, which is not godlike, but just very good, compared to a very bad one, can make, like, I don't know, 15 seconds of difference or so.
Yeah.
Which is so much. Yeah. That's, by the way, the coolest dog in the game.
The Toaster Dog, yeah.
Unlucky
and he's pretty
for
fast.
us. He's not too strong for us, because we have Atlas Glitch. But for casual playthrough, he's super strong. Oh, what?
And he's super fast.
Oh, yes.
Because somehow his stamina doesn't deplete when you run. Like,
Yes.
unlike any other dog in the game. So you can just run at full speed all the time.
So the reason why we're not killing the cleaning robots, except for the last one, is because for every Wraith there would be another spider that tanks a lot of damage and causes a lot of lag if you will not get rid of it fast enough before the next wave starts.
And the dog can actually make toast, yeah? He does.
This is an horrendous
time to time he
boss
does,
rush
yeah.
right now.
Come on, dog. Do it. Do some toast. Come on, man. Nope.
This Cauldron Rush was super bad. Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, GG.
Yo, thank you.
Yeah, as I said, we like apart like 30 seconds, I guess. 30-40 seconds. So basically, the exact same amount we've been like from Atlas Glitch onwards. Because there's really not that much you can do.
Yeah, that's the unfortunate thing about doing, as we said, no reset runs or marathon runs, because like most of it will get decided. Like if you have the same skill level, it will get decided in Act 1 and Atlas Glitch. Other than that, it's
Yeah. Dude, so many. I think I had like 5 dreads in a row. on Magma.
Yeah,
And this Cauldron
like,
is the actual protagonist
yeah,
of
that's
the game.
the actual final boss with
Who's
30k HP.
Yeah, who's supposed to be the assistant of Dr. Ruffleberg, but somehow developed a consciousness or something, and went totally crazy, and tried to, like, yeah, overtake Evermore.
Turns out he failed.
He did,
GG.
he did. Yeah, decent run, I guess. Wasn't too bad. Except
Unlucky
for Atlas.
Atlas, I guess.
Yeah, but I guess it's fine.
But yeah, that happens. It is what it is when it comes to Secret of Evermore.
Yeah, it's okay. Bim got a 117. Yeah, Bim was a pretty good player. A pretty nice guy overall. Oh, kill on my level. Look at this guy.
But yeah, I mean,
There goes.
most of the time that you lose in a marathon scenario is in Act 1. I mean, I guess Act 1 was like 50 seconds or almost a minute behind PB already, because that's where most execution and most RNG is, basically.
Yeah, so what are we doing now? Dr. Roffelberg is like sending us back to get our friends. Fire Ice, Camilla, Horace. And because Evermore is going to go down. And yeah, so we're trying to get them and get out of here and go back home to Podunk.
Yeah, spoiler, it has a happy ending. We all escape.
Yeah.
I mean, it's pretty sad. In the end, they tease, like in Secret of Evermore 2, because there's Cauldron, like, smiling to the camera or something like that, that hints you something like, yeah, maybe there's Secret of Evermore 2, but it never came. But yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I guess, thank you that we were able to show this game here for us. It's an amazing game, and it's a very optimized speed game, and it's very fun. Very frustrating at moments, but yeah.
It's actually a pretty... We always say it's a pretty easy game to pick up, as also for beginners, because as you can see, you cannot die from Act 2 onwards. So it's... You basically always finish the game, there's like no need to reset or stuff, so it's pretty easy to pick up. But it's one of these games that's easy to learn, but hard to master, I guess. But yeah. I guess that's it.
I guess that's it, yeah.
Thank you very much for watching. And I hope you're having a nice SNES Super Stars.